Dude, there's this amazing new show on Crunchyroll you gotta check out. It's called Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, sweet. Dude, tell me about it.
Yeah, okay. So it's this show where there are like teenagers who fight each other while using arcane jutsus with hand signs.
Oh, you mean Naruto?
No. Okay, the plucky main character with dead parents, he like finds himself thrust into jutsu school.
You mean Naruto?
No. The main character in this one has like a legendary demon living inside of him that gives him all his powers.
Yeah, that's Naruto.
No, this is Jujutsu Kaisen. It's the one where his like rival / best friend is like a black-haired edgelord who's the survivor of a dark past relating to his clan and bloodline.
Yeah, Sasuke Uchiha from Naruto.
No, this is Jujutsu Kaisen. It's the one where the other member of the main trio is like the stubborn tsundere girl who's like bringing them both down to earth constantly.
Naruto?
No, this is Jujutsu Kaisen. It's the one where the trio's sensei is this super overpowered dude with white hair and like a headband that covers his super cool secret eyes.
Well, that's Naruto.
No, it's the one where okay. I can see why you're confused. It's got the one character with the mouth growing on his hands.
Naruto.
No, it's the one where the first big group challenge takes place in a forest in Japan, while the rest of the class like kind of has like a jutsu battle to take victory home.
The tuning exams from Naruto.
No. This is Jujutsu Kaisen. It's the one where there's the one character who can't do any jutsu, so she needs to rely on like physical prowess, like completely 100%.
Like Rock Lee from Naruto.
I feel like we're talking past each other. It's that show where the main character says, "Sensei, I want to learn how to do a Rasengan, like from Naruto."
Like from Naruto. That's Naruto. Pax, this is Naruto.
Okay, it's the show where there's the two characters who are about to have a big confrontation, but it gets diffused when they decide to instead talk about how much they both want to bang Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, you mean Jujutsu Kaisen?
Hello everybody, I'm Pax.
And I'm Hal.
And this is Brotakus, the show where two guys who love anime do a deep dive in what is and isn't worth watching. We believe you don't need a major in anime studies to enjoy this wild, beautiful, strange art form, and we are so lucky to have you on this journey with us. We love you very much. Hal, how you doing today? My sweet little sugar plum prince. What's going on?
Stop it. I'm doing great. It's been a long day. We just recorded another episode with some good friends of ours at the Playdate podcast. We're super excited for that to go on the air, and we're moving right on to Brotaku's Anime Club, our home, where our hearts live. We're doing it, and we're having a great time.
Hell yeah, yes we are. So for everybody listening, we are still Brotakus, we're no longer Scooby Dudes. For those who listened to our last episode and got really angry, as many of my friends reached out and were upset because they thought we were breaking up. I don't know what we did about our marketing that led them to believe that was what the deal was. But I'm so glad that you're angry.
Yeah, the fact that you care and that you're invested in our well-being, that's great. Love it. Be angry. Let's do more things to make people angry.
No, for sure. And for the minority of people who are sad that we're no longer the Scooby Dudes, I'm sorry. I mean, maybe it's going to have to be a side project for someday, but
it was a gold mine. That's true. We may be letting it by. We may be letting it pass us by.
We could have a couple other Scooby Dudes left in us, maybe a Gnarled King sequel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scooby-Doo and the Gnarlder Queen.
And the Gnarly Queen,
The Gnarly Queen. Their skateboarding episode.
Yeah.
When are we gonna do a Brotaku's Beach episode? We gotta just like lay out on some sand, get some fucking rays, and do
it's gotta warm up a little bit. And I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm able to get out on the beach with a mask on my face right now. I need to let everything hang loose. Meaning, yeah.
That's very true. That'd probably be really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So anyway, speaking of uncomfortability, we're very high in comfortability when it comes to our new favorite segment, the Brotaku's News Corner. Brotaku's News Corner. So we got a lot of great stuff today to start the show off. And Hal, you're going to lead us off with our news for today, right?
Absolutely. So recently, I'm going to click this link that's going to bring me to our first news segment of the day. So the first segment that I want to talk about is Funimation reaches settlement in class action lawsuit over allegedly violating Americans with Disabilities Act. That's a mouthful. There's a lot that happened there. And I'm reading this off of animenewsnetwork.com. And I'll give you a quick summary of what this is about. So documents for the class action lawsuit that Janissa Angeles, a legally blind person, filed against Funimation Global Corp. LLC in January to reveal that the lawsuit was settled out of court. The documents provided no other details of the settlement, so essentially, here's what happened. Angeles filed the class action lawsuit against Funimation in the District Court of the Southern District of New York on January 13th. On behalf of herself and, quote, all others similarly situated, alleging that Funimation's website violated the ADA. What that means is they didn't design, construct, maintain, and operate their website to be fully accessible to and independently usable by Angeles and other blind or visually impaired people. What this means is Funimation, as I am not legally blind, I have not had to utilize these resources, going on websites, but there are resources that allow people to search the internet. If you are not able to see, it gives you like a talk to text type thing. And most websites nowadays, like the American ones, they provide that service for their consumers. And I guess Funimation missed that train. I guess they decided, no, we don't need that for our website. And Angeles took exception to that and created a lawsuit, filed a lawsuit against them.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I could bring up here is that legally what I will say is I may have worked for the New York Division of Human Rights, like as an investigator. Mm-hmm. I can't reveal the details of my past work, but New York has a super strict human rights law. And I say strict as in like when it comes to human rights, that's something you should be strict about. If it's your birthday, you shouldn't be strict on your diet, enjoy a cake. But when it comes to human rights, I think, as Dr. Jordan Peterson would say, we all want to show a lot of discipline and order and focus here. So, be strict about this. And the New York human rights law is super, explicit about kind of heightening the basic, American laws relating to disability in certain protected classes, whether that's anything from like your marital status to like pregnancy, race, religion, ex-military status is covered under it. And the case of adding alt text here is just like good practice to, it's a industry standard thing. So it's not that Funimation, just did something that everybody else is doing and they're getting dinged because they're a big corporation. Like alt text is a super like necessary thing and just basic like site building. And so to forget this, I'm not saying like, let's burn Funimation to the ground. I would say that because of their mobile app, burn Funimation to the ground. But for this, I don't know, should we give Donkey of the Day to Funimation?
Well, considering the, I guess out of all of them, because the rest of the news is relatively fine, as far as I've seen, Funimation gets Donkey of the Day.
Awesome. So I kind of want to hype you up on something that put you up on something that I just found out recently, which is that Lindsay Ellis is a renowned YouTuber, kind of like the godmother of like YouTube video essayists. She's not 1,000 years old. She's young, she's hip, she's cool, but she's been doing it for a decade.
Yeah.
And most people who are familiar with YouTube video essays, Lindsay Ellis is a cool name. Mm-hmm. And I want to talk about the word cancellation here, because people are describing what has happened as a cancellation. But I think that sometimes people are calling something cancellation when it's really just like a mob of people who decide that they want to abuse you and like tear you down and destroy you. And unfortunately, it is kind of the case that like marginalized people and traumatized people sometimes hurt other people out of their trauma. But something that happened to Lindsay Ellis that drove her off Twitter, I believe a few years ago, was she basically got explicitly targeted by like white nationalists who tried to cancel every single service that she had, like personal letters to like business people, homies who were involved with her personally, because she had one tweet where someone was like, "Do you support white genocide?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, I totally support white genocide." Like, 'cause she's a white woman, and Nazis in bad faith decided to basically wreck her life and attack her for it. And so, unfortunately, this is kind of a different situation, because I think there are a lot of like far right people who use this as a cover. Here's the latest canceled tweet. Here's the tweet that she got canceled for.
Show me.
also watched Raya and the Last Dragon, and I think we need to come up with a name for this genre that's basically Avatar the Last Airbender reduxes. It's like half of all YA fantasy published in the last few years anyway. So, do you see the problem here, Hal?
Not really.
What do you think it is? If you could divine what the issue here is, saying that Raya and the Last Dragon is derivative of Avatar: The Last Airbender, what might the issue here be?
That it has an Asian theme. Would that be it? Would it be that it's made by Disney? Would it be that it's? I don't know.
It's almost as if there isn't actually an issue here.
Yeah, I don't really know.
And she's right. There is a lot of media, especially young adult fiction, that is diminutive of or derivative, of Avatar: The Last Airbender as a super popular property. And people attacked her saying oh, so you're saying that just because it has Asian themes in it, it's like Avatar: The Last Airbender? Or cancel Lindsay Ellis. Lindsay Ellis is a racist. Lindsay Ellis is a white supremacist. Lindsay Ellis is, a fake ally. And again, it's one of these things where 99% of people have no problem with this because it's true, and Raya and the Last Dragon is super duper similar to Avatar. I watched the movie and it's like, so-and-so is like the last dragon and has to unite the 4 tribes, and long ago there was one evil nation, and it's very similar, and it's a totally innocuous tweet. But what this is like, okay, Hal, I want you to say trans people are valid, and I'm going to respond to you in the way that people responded to Lindsay Ellis.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think I see where we're going with this,
okay,
and I think I can see where you're going to like it. Trans people are valid.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that trans people that you don't think are valid aren't even people to you? Like they're just like dogs? Is what you're saying? Is that if you don't think a trans person is valid, that they're not even a person? You sicko? What is wrong with you?
Yes.
Does that feel fair? Does that feel cool?
No. It feels bad. If I had to describe it in one word, it would be bad. And I think I see where you're going, where they're just like, okay, I'm going to take some of the really actually shitty things that I do on a regular basis. And then instead of acknowledging those shitty things, and instead of admitting to myself, hey, perhaps I could change my behavior, when I am criticized, instead, I'm going to look for someone who is posting something perfectly innocuous, and then I'm going to try and find anything I can to like beat this tweet with a stick and until like anything falls out like candy out of a piñata. Like I'm just going to try to figure out how can I mangle this tweet to make it sound bad.
Absolutely. And so I'm giving mule of the day to the squad who's doing this, and just a general ask from Brotakus is, do not target just random women online to try to destroy them personally and flood their DMs with just really hateful stuff and pictures of pigs pooping on their own balls because you decided to be upset at a tweet that they posted. So
okay, is that a real example or is that a pack
sample?
The
pig pooping on its own balls gif. I'll send it to you later. It's become very popular on Twitter.
Interesting.
Yes,
continue.
it is.
So, on the lighter side of Brotakus News Corner today, I have an article also from Anime News Network because that's where I get my anime news. And help me pronounce this, Pax. Is this Golgo or is this Goljo?
No, you got it. It's Golgo 13.
Golgo 13 manga ties the Guinness World Record for most manga volumes. So, Taiko Saito's long-running Golgo 13 manga ties the Guinness World Record for, quote, most volumes published for a single manga series when its 200th compiled book volume shipped in Japan on Monday. The manga is currently tied with Osamu Akimoto's Kochira Katsushika-ku, I'm not gonna try, Kochikame police comedy manga, which earned the record when its 200th and final compiled book volume shipped in September 2016. That's a big deal. That's something huge. And to be honest, when I looked at this, I was like, oh yeah, the Guinness Book of World Records, that still exists. That's not just like a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum. Like, it's still very much a very, very valid thing to yearn for when you are creating goals. And so congrats to Golgo 13, congrats to Takeo Saito, and you're the best. You're a baller. 200 volumes. Fantastic.
And we give this news 5 Scooby snacks.
5 Scooby snacks.
And that just to round out the news corner today. Thank you for the update on Golgo. Just some great stuff coming out this month. We got Way of the Houshusband on April 8th. That is a mafia member who decides to leave the mob in order to just become a stay-at-home dad. And it is the sweetest, funniest. It's so great. I've read the manga. It's fantastic.
Okay. Real quick, just a little background. Does it like go like Modern Family route or does it go Punisher route? Because I need to know before I emotionally attach myself to this manga.
I would say like wholesome Punisher. I mean, it's just like, it's the Punisher who, he isn't like just killing people, but everything about how the Punisher interacts day to day. It's like how the Punisher would shop for new cereal brands.
Okay, word. Okay. I can get behind this. Okay, great.
So
thank you.
Super based. Similarly, Yasuke, about the legendary African samurai, who it just kind of hit me that in addition to this, Yasuke's real height, he was really like 6'2", which that's another element that I hadn't realized because Yasuke in actual
big boy.
He large. I mean, he was at least 4 times as large as any other Japanese person.
Yes, he was a giant.
So, but yeah. Okay, what is it, Al?
I just love the idea of like, they're like, hey, so the other army, they're sending forth their champion. His name is Yasuke, new guy. I don't know, came here from a different country. You could probably handle him. I hear he's not that tough. He's a different color, which is weird, but hey, he's fine. And then this guy comes out and this dude's like 3 feet taller than you and he's got samurai armor and a sword and he's black and you're just like, what is happening? And then he kills you. I just love that idea. That makes me laugh. I can't wait to watch Yasuke.
Hell yeah, going to be very, very cool. And then perhaps the greatest news of the week is that JoJo's Part 6, Stone Ocean, is finally announced.
What?
Featuring the first ever female JoJo, Jolene Cujo. So we're really looking forward to that.
Wait, like Jotaro Kujo's like what, granddaughter?
I guess you're going to have to find out by watching JoJo's Part 6 Stone Ocean when it debuts.
Man.
So yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
First Lady JoJo and Best JoJo. We give this news 5 Scooby snacks. Oh my God, my friends are going to kill me for this. And with that said, Hal, do you want to bring us out?
Yep, that's right. That was the Brotakus Anime Club News Network. And moving on, we are back. Let's talk about the subject at hand, Pax. Let's talk about the anime that we're really here for, the one that we're really going to dig into today, like with a scoop of ice cream. I really want to get in this today. What are we watching?
We watching the smash hit, voted Crunchyroll's #1 anime of the year, taking the world by storm.
Really?
Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen is the #1 rated anime on Crunchyroll right now?
I think it won an award, like as in it was the #1 thing. Okay. Cause in my mind, I'm like, okay, is there award season like Grammy-like? Yes. In the 2021 Crunchyroll Anime Awards, Jujutsu Kaisen came out on top. And so it took home 3 awards, those awards being, Best Anime of the Year, Best Ending Sequence, and Best Antagonist for the extremely powerful cursed spirit Ryomen Sukuna. And super dope. So
okay,
I think it's pretty good. Yeah. And I think we have some different opinions on it.
If you can't tell.
Yeah. So you take the lead on this.
So let me just give you some background about Jujutsu Kaisen. So Jujutsu Kaisen, or Sorcery Fight, is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by please don't kill me. Is it Gigi Akutami?
Probably not, but
Probably
I don't know. Let's say Gigi. It's our homie Gigi.
That would be Gigi.
Gigi, baby, manga's over. We made the best one.
Akutami.
Get out of here.
I need to educate myself. Serialized in Shueisha's weekly Shonen Jump since March 2018. The individual chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen are collected and published by Shueisha, with 15 tankobon volumes released as of March 2021. So essentially, just a quick synopsis of what it's about. The world is infested with invisible malevolent spirits known as curses. And these curses are born from humanity's fear and hatred, but humanity's...
Oh, wait, so like Yu Yu Hakusho or Bleach?
No. This is Jujutsu Kaisen. This is
Oh,
Jujutsu Kaisen.
okay.
And stay with me. And humanity's only safeguard is a small group of warriors, a secret society known as Jujutsu sorcerers.
Oh, like the Soul Society in Bleach?
No. This is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay.
Yeah. What's different is that these Jujutsu sorcerers use their own cursed energy to eliminate the evil spirits, because only a curse can defeat another curse.
Oh, like
yeah.
Nen battles in Hunter x Hunter?
No. This is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay.
Yeah. So, protagonist high schooler Yuji Itadori becomes a vessel for a powerful spirit named Sukuna after following one of the spirit's ancient fingers. By the way, there are 20. He had 4 arms. So he was essentially like a D&D, deity, that had 4 arms, was a really, really big bad.
But Hal, everybody has 4 arms. I'm sorry.
So Yuji Itadori, his grandfather dies, and he decides like, I'm gonna make sure everyone has a good death. That's his motivation for the show. And he swallows a special grade cursed object, being a fingi. And now he must train to be a Jujutsu sorcerer to destroy the 19 remaining fingers to stop the evil Sukuna from empowering other evil curses in the world. And that's Jujutsu Kaisen in a nutshell. You got some evil spirits, you got some punchy fights, you got some ancient hand signs that shoot magic out of them, and you got a lot of husbandos. In this show, in my humble opinion. Lot to like here.
Yeah, I totally agree. So how do we want to tackle this first? This kind of like juicy honkin' series, because it's super well beloved. I'm seeing some great cosplays of this. Like, what do you want us to dive into first?
Honestly, I guess just for those of you watching and listening today, I think what we're trying to say is that Jujutsu Kaisen and Naruto have a number of similarities between them. A number. And so I'd really like to just discuss that real quick and help illuminate that venue.
Yeah, I think, I genuinely feel like even though they are very, they have very similar, iconography, I do feel like they have pretty different aesthetics, which is something that I was really surprised, because I'm not the first person to point out this kind of like Naruto Jujutsu Kaisen similarity. Mm-hmm. But when you talk about it on Reddit, people get mad as fuck. They get so upset. Like, for real, I posted something and they're just like, it's nothing like Naruto. Naruto didn't invent ninjas. And I'm like, this show doesn't even have ninjas in it though. And they're like, it didn't invent jutsu either. You're being a cultural supremacist. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting Lindsay Ellis. It's just so, there's nothing wrong with pointing out that a lot of these things are like mad similar. They're super similar. Our main character is way less annoying than Naruto is, though, I will say that.
Naruto's a punk. He's a punk ass kid. God, he was obnoxious. Whereas Yuji Itadori is, I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to start this episode by saying my opinion about the show. I don't love it. So far. I haven't seen the whole thing yet. I am on episode 8 as we stand.
That is going to make people upset. That's going to make people upset. I think you should get to the next arc before you write it off. The one in the
No. I'm going to keep watching. I want to be sure that I explain. No. I'm going to keep watching, because I think that I do like it. I think that it has a lot of really, really great fights so far, and I'm a big fight junkie. I think the artwork is really, really beautiful. It's like a really cool element of the Attack on Titan gore, with like the interesting, funny elements that you might find with like chibi art, or like just like the transformation of physical forms for the main characters, like sort of Looney Tunes sometimes. And then you have Yuji swinging around and suddenly losing his hand in this arterial spray bursting forth from the ragged limb. Good word. Thank you. It really does switch between the two really, really well. And the other thing I think is really funny. Jujutsu Kaisen is actually really funny. And that's something I really do appreciate about it. I'm not in love with it yet. I'm going to keep watching it. I just kind of feel like, at least in the beginning so far, it feels a little cookie cutter. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's totally fair. It's totally fair. And our, oh my God, I really hope this isn't the episode that gets us like canceled. But, there were a lot of people mad at Blood of Zeus, but, this is something where let's all, we'll take a step back. There's a ton of stuff to love about Jujutsu Kaisen.
Absolutely.
It's amazing in a lot of ways. And I think something that's tinging it for me is that I saw Naruto, it was one of my first anime. Mm-hmm. And so to see something that so freely borrows from some of the tropes is encouraging to me, because something I bring up literally constantly is that I would love to see some of the series that we grew up with kind of get the My Hero Academia, which season 5 just came out last weekend.
Oh,
keep it up. Yeah. But I would love to see it get the new seasonal treatment where it gets the animation love that it really deserves, and the plotting it really deserves. But something about Jujutsu Kaisen does strike me as just way less serious than those shows, and I think it kind of sets it off immediately in the first episode, because Yuji Itadori from the fucking jump is extremely like chosen one vibes.
Yes.
I don't know what's going to happen because I've read some of the manga. The art style is it's not terrible. It's definitely just, I think, not as, polished as the
in the manga
is.
Specifically.
Yeah. Kind of gives me like, Attack on Titan, the manga is to the anime in terms of like there being a clear like style difference. You know what I mean? Like how Attack on Titan manga kind of looks like shit, but Jujutsu Kaisen doesn't look that bad.
Or like Hellsing Ultimate, the manga versus the anime. Very, very different.
Yeah. I feel like the audience is like a lion looking at this episode, like
licking its chops.
Hey, buddy. Yeah. But from the jump, it did kind of. I do enjoy protagonists that have more tangible flaws, and I'm not sure Yuji Itadori has any. I think he might be a bit of a Gary Stu in that sense.
I will say one thing. I do like Yuji Itadori because of one specific moment that I've seen so far. And it really did stand out for me. So in one of the fights, Yuji Itadori, he is very Chosen One-esque. He is right off the bat explained as being like, yeah, this dude is inhumanly strong. He is a high schooler that is beating world records casually in his physical feats. And he doesn't care. And he's just like, yeah, I'm really, really strong. I just am. And not everybody's like this. Okay. And that's fine. That's a fun trope to play with. But then we get into a fight in which he's up against a physically superior foe. With a certain curse that, doesn't really have a lot of intelligence, but it is beating the shit out of him. It's already taken off one of his hands. It has blown apart his other hand, disintegrated most of his hand. And his whole thing throughout the show is his grandfather told him, while you're alive, make sure you help people, make sure you improve other people's lives because you are so strong, because you are able to do so, protect other people. And so Yuji took that as, okay, I need to make sure that other people, if they're going to die, they have a good death. They have
and the
a
grandpa also goes,
death.
By the way, I have very important information to tell you about who your parents really are and the dark secret at the core. Then and Itadori's like,
yeah, he's like, and then he dies. And so back to it. So Itadori has this thing about making sure that he dies well, that his friends and loved ones, and just anyone has a good, meaningful death. And you think like, this is going to pull through. This is going to be like his friendship no jutsu moment where he's getting his ass whooped. And then he's just like, no, I want to make sure that I have a meaningful death and I'm going to push through. But he doesn't.
So I can die.
Right. But he doesn't. Instead, in this moment, he breaks down. He says like, oh my God, meaningful death. What was I talking about? How naive can you get? I'm going to die.
Suck. Yeah.
He's just like, I'm going to die. I don't want to die. And it's like this moment of like reality. I was like, okay. He's not just like that stupid Son Goku character that's just like, I just want to fight to get stronger, type deal. Like he's like, oh shit, I'm about to die. And I don't know what's on the other side. I don't want to die. And I really appreciated that about it. I thought that was a really cool moment and it really deepened it for me.
Yeah. And there's a lot of those in the series that, are fun, but at the end of the day, Yuji Itadori is a bit of a himbo.
Yes.
And his flaws are more like, maybe he's not like the smartest person ever, but he's still pretty smart, and he's literally the best like physical thing dude that he's ever done, and he's the 1 in 10 million that can embody Sukuna. But did we already talk about like how he gets the demon inside of him?
Not in depth. No, if you would like to take that.
Yeah, so he is essentially, you know, demons come to fight the school. I guess the school like had a ward out that wound up being one of these evil fingers from this ancient, you know, god of evil Mojo Jojo vibes.
Yes. So specifically, can I explain that? So specifically, the fingers are like being spread out across the world like the Infinity Stones. They were wrapped up.
Oh, wait, like Dragon Balls? Like this is Dragon Ball?
No. This is Jujutsu Kaisen. Except instead of gathering the Dragon Balls to make a wish, you gather all the fingers if you want to end the fucking world. So essentially, this super powerful evil curse called Sukuna. He was defeated by the Jujutsu sorcerers, but they couldn't kill him. All they could do was like separate his little fingies into little different boxes across the world. And so the Jujutsu sorcerers are looking for these fingers because they attract curses to them. They are so powerful that other curses are like, I smell something good in this school building, and I smell children too, and I'm gonna eat both. and so like by consuming this finger, a curse would become like way stronger. They would reach their stage 2 of their evolution. And Squirtle becomes Wartortle. Wartortle becomes Blastoise.
Yes, exactly. However, if you are a human that consumes a finger, you will swiftly become Cubone's mom, and that you will fucking die. You will be dead. Unless you're the 1 in 10 million chosen one, super himbo supreme, who swallows the finger and has the insane human physiology that allows him to become a vessel of Sukuna.
He swallows a finger.
Yeah. I know, and it's super gross, but he then gets like cray powers.
Yeah.
And so his power scaling is the dual thing of collecting the finger balls and then also training and learning his stuff. And everything that he does with training wise, he learns so quickly.
It's just like, this
quickly.
Done.
And it's like, oh my god, was that the super Kamehame Black Buster Blast? And it's like, yeah.
He's just like, that thing I just did by snapping my fingers? Oh yeah.
Yeah, that he doesn't even think about.
Yeah.
So he consumes it, and then he gets swept up into Jutsu World, and the kind of cool the cool hook here is that the antagonist and the protagonist share a body, which that is pretty damn innovative. It's pretty great the way that they pull it off, and it is a kind of constant source of really interesting plot developments. And I can't wait until, because they didn't say that there were only fingers. I can't wait till like 50 volumes in when suddenly Gojo is
he actually had 6 feet.
That's way better. That's
and Yuji Itadori has to suck on Sukuna's toes to defeat the evil curse.
I was gonna go so low, bro. I was like, all right, time for Sukuna's dick. But like saying already
sucking Sukuna's toes.
That's so much funnier. It's like, I didn't tell you about his 6 feet. Like, holy shit, wait till you get to his tail. Like, I mean, like, oh my god. So yeah, we'll see what happens in Jujutsu Kaisen Shippuden. But so the general arc of the show is then they have like a grading scale for spirits, and like I've made it clear that I'm like a total sucker for like ranking systems and titles in anime. I love when it's like, okay, well, you need to face the eight moon chieftains before you cross the bridge of the purple monkeys to get to the legend of the hidden temple where the supreme Mercury goddess is at. Like, I love titles. And power scaling too is or power like levels, because in this they're like it's like 1 through 5.
It's like grade 1 up to grade, I think 3.
I think it's 1 through 5.
Is it 5? Okay.
Yeah. But then they introduce special grade, which is just like, and like the system does not matter.
It's like that's the moment in Dragon Ball Z where like the scouter just blows up on their face.
Yeah. And so, like, it's so insane because the power levels for that maybe matter for like a total of 3 episodes where they're like, oh, because then immediately they're like introducing the special grades, which could be anywhere from like world-ending threats to just like mini bosses.
Right.
And then they just start grading people in like how many fingers they, like Sukuna's fingers worth of power they think they probably have.
Yeah.
The coach will be like, yeah, that looks like a 6-fingy. It's like, what the fuck is happening here? Jesus Christ.
The thing is even the spirits are doing it. Like, there's a moment where the spirit, Jogo, wants to go fight the supreme Jujutsu sorcerer, Gojo.
Wait, no way. Really? Is it that?
Yeah, the volcano head, his name's Jogo. And the Kakashi Hatake guy, his name's Gojo.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And so basically, like, Jogo, the evil volcano man, is sitting with unnamed bad guy. He's not unnamed. I just haven't gotten there yet. And he's just like, how many fingers do you think Jogo is? Or Gojo? How many fingers is Gojo right now?
Why would they do that? Why would they have a Gojo and a Jogo?
Right.
When there's an anime character also named Jojo. Like, you're just yanking my
Yeah.
Oh
and so,
God.
like, the spirit's just like, yeah, he's probably about 2 fingers. I can take him. He's two fingers. And I'm like, really? Really? Is like Sukuna just like this collectible item that all the spirits know about and are just like, cause it's supposed to be this really vied for item, this like supreme source of power that upon consuming it, you become the big bad. And they're just kind of like, yeah, it feels like about 2 fingers.
Yeah, it's still a supreme source of power, but more
max.
like Supreme, the clothing brand, where they're like, new fingy just dropped, dude. Like,
let's go get that
thing. Oh my God. And yet I gotta say, I don't know, the vibes, I think it's a generally really well constructed show in that, like, it's very funny. It takes place, like, consummately in this world. Mm-hmm. And the characters just seem a little more mature. Like, I mean, they really do seem like how probably like 17 and 18 year olds actually act, like people who are basically adults. Mm-hmm. In that, like, my one favorite character, I think it's Todo in Jujutsu Kaisen. Aoi Todo. He is another himbo who is, I mean, he looks like a Japanese Kronk from Emperor's New Groove. Okay. And his introduction thing is he asks every new opponent, and he's 6'3", which is like, oh my God, like he can go toe to toe with Yasuke. But he introduces himself and he's like, what is your taste in women? And he first goes up against the black-haired dude, and the black-haired guy is like, I suppose I like a woman who is strong-willed and believes in herself. And Toto's like, he starts crying, and he's like, oh shit, I knew it, man. You're boring as fuck. Oh shit, I knew it. Oh fuck, this is such a fucking bummer to me. And then he's like, I'm gonna show you how a real man is. Ask me what my taste in women is. And he goes like, I like a tall lady with a big ass. And then he starts fighting. And so that whole Jennifer Lawrence thing from earlier is like when he finally has his confrontation with our main protagonist. Their fight stops because he does his thing where he's like, what's your taste in women? And Itadori is like, I never thought about it. I had to say, I guess I'd say like a tall woman with a big ass. and then Todo starts weeping and imagining like them going to middle school together and becoming best friends. And the greatest fight of the show is the Todo Itadori fight where they fight another foe together. And it's one of the best anime fights I have seen in my life.
Is it a tall woman with a big ass?
It is a tall woman, and she kind of does have a big ass. Right. Like, she's a cursed spirit, but it is like
but is a tall woman with a big ass.
I guess it kind of is.
That's storytelling. That is storytelling.
That is storytelling. But what makes the fight so cool, just to say, I mean, this is my standout fight. I'm really throwing the show notes into the incinerator today. But Todo's ability, and if you haven't watched Jujutsu Kaisen, please watch Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah,
it's so
you
good.
definitely should.
His ability is when he claps, he can switch places with somebody else, or switch the places of like 2 people in front of him.
Oh, and like a quirk, like My Hero Academia.
no, this is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, okay.
and to make their quirks more powerful, they have to explain the rules that govern their quirk. Does that sound like any series?
Like Hunter x Hunter.
No, this is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, okay.
But like the fight is it's just one of the best fights I've seen, bar none, stands toe to toe with anything, because they have a couple like 2-on-1 fights in Jujutsu Kaisen, which are just insanely well choreographed. And as he is clapping, it's like people are switching places, and he's disorienting people. And it's the most well choreographed fight I've seen in like years. It's
really
it's unbelievable to watch. And so that's kind of a good question, is like, it doesn't have the emotional punch, or I guess the seriousness. Am I seriously going to say the seriousness of a Naruto? You know what I mean?
Yes, you are.
And yet Naruto kind of like, it takes the rules of its world a little more seriously, I think.
It takes itself more seriously.
It does. It has like pretty firm guidelines, whereas like the character who rips his own heart out in episode like 4, one of the hypest things I've ever seen in anime was dope.
Like, yo.
Yeah, it was like, super
damn.
dope. Yeah. But there's also a lot of hand wavy moments plot wise in the show, I guess I would say.
Absolutely.
Don't kill me.
And if you were to describe, I think that one thing that Jujutsu Kaisen does really well is the art style. I think there's a lot of really cool art moments in it, like the design of the curses. I think that's probably my favorite part so far. Being in kind of like a freak of the week type deal. I've always loved shows that have like a freak of the week type arc, where they're like, this week, Sam and Dean Winchester go up against a Wendigo from Black Rock. And it's just like that kind of like, I want to see something new every week. I want to see really cool designs. I want to see like these monsters, these beasts that the pro tags have to go up against, and like figure out, what unique part of my own abilities am I going to use to counter their unique abilities? And I think that's something that Jujutsu Kaisen does really well. I thought that, with the introduction of some of these curses, I'm just like, damn, that thing's ugly. And then you only get like a few minutes to look at it, and then it's dead, and then it's gone. And you're like, but shit, that thing looks so cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that Jujutsu Kaisen does really, really well. It's something that like, it takes like an interesting horror element, like a body horror type deal with the curses, and it makes it like battle anime. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, totally. And I'll say, you haven't gotten there yet. How many episodes have you seen? Like,
I'm on 8.
Okay, gotcha.
So right now, Gojo and Jogo are fighting, and Gojo.
Oh, like JoJo's.
No, this is Jujutsu Kaisen. And
okay.
Yeah. And Gojo just won decisively.
And that was hype as hell too, right?
Yeah, I was like
But again, like, what is his power? Can you describe what Gojo's power is?
No, I can't, because it doesn't make any sense. Essentially, he's like, I call it infinity. And the bad guy's like, oh? And the whole trick is, he's like, see, here's my thing. You know how you can shoot fire and like make it burn people? Well, if you do that to me, it won't work. And he's like, okay, why? And he's like, He's like, yeah, there's infinity in between us, and I put it there. Shield, you can't touch me. Shield. That's his power. Shield, that's it. And like, Yuji's like, oh my god, he is the most powerful jujutsu sorcerer. I'm just like, fuck off. He's just making, like, that's it. It's like, you can't touch me, Shield.
He's making shit up.
Yes, he's making shit up.
Gojo's making shit up. And yeah, he totally is. And the power of infinity, I mean, it looks gorgeous. It's one of the most beautiful
visually
things.
Stunning.
It's unbelievable.
Even the bad guy's looking at it like, what is going on? I can't move.
Yeah. And again, we're early in this. You know, it's unfair to judge it against some of these past shows that are really long and their stuff. But like Kakashi's backstory, you know, I whatever. Yes, okay. I'm not gonna be afraid. I'm gonna compare it to Kakashi because he's Kakashi.
He is Kakashi.
But Kakashi is like a lot more surly, whereas Gojo's just like a thought.
Gojo's more like a cinnamon bun in the way that he refers to his students. Like, he's very, very silly, very friendly. And then when a certain character dies, he's like upset. He's mad. Yeah. He's like, the elders made this happen. The people in, like, my bosses made this happen. Maybe I should just go murder all of them. Like, he says so casually, he's like, I think I'm just gonna go kill them.
Yeah.
And the characters are like, hey, please don't.
It's wild, but like my point being that Kakashi's abilities of like I forget what he uses, like the
copy
illusion
ninja. So
he's a copy ninja, but he also uses kind of like illusion jutsu and like has that thing where he will trap you in like insane illusions.
Yeah, what he does is he has the Sharingan. So his long story, I'm not going to say why he has the Sharingan for those of you who haven't watched Naruto yet, which if you haven't, go watch it. But he is able to basically mimic your moves and make it look like he is doing everything that you're doing. Makes it look like he is copying you, when in reality, he is forcing you to do something else.
Yeah. Yeah. And this stuff is, all this is saying that there's like a lot more limits on power as we understand it, because everyone in Jujutsu Kaisen is super powerful. It almost feels like it treats these anime tropes like how One Punch Man does, with a sense of like, I mean, and granted, it's a lot more serious, and something you're going to get to real soon is there's like a really big character death, in Jujutsu Kaisen, which is great. We'd love to see it. Like, it totally was a fake for me where I thought it was going one way, it went the other. But it just has a lot of fun with itself in a way that doesn't always feel the most like thematically consistent, but it's so damn fun. I could see why it won Anime of the Year. I had a blast watching it. Not everything needs to be some other show. I think it really succeeds at what it's going for.
Absolutely. Okay, so I feel like we've really gone down to the rabbit hole with this, but like, let's just, block it out. Boom. Action points. Blah. What's the strongest parts of Jujutsu Kaisen? Go.
Yo, strongest parts of Jujutsu Kaisen, every single fight scene. It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's so good. That and the humor, it's just great. But the fights are really something that are miraculous. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. I think the strongest parts for me are the humor. I think it's really funny. I think that the character relationships are very, very funny as well. I think that the main character, which is unusual, like has a sense of humor, like he is funny. And like with shonen protags, usually they're funny because they're idiots, as opposed to Yuji, who is like funny because he can actually comment on some of the things that are happening to him. Yeah. And he's a little more self-aware. I think those are some of the strongest parts. Also, I think the art's really beautiful in this. I think that there are some really visually stunning moments in this anime. So that's what I would think. It
also helps that he's not annoying. Like,
he's not obnoxious.
I mean, granted, like, someone like Naruto might grow on you after a while as you realize, like, oh, this kid was, like, really raised up and ostracized, and that's why he's just this little, like, perverted, just kind of, like, social, like, moron.
Yeah.
But to have some genuinely funny characters who just have, like, good bonding moments, that's a show I can vibe with. And it kind of almost made me change my view on the... should we do these old anime reduxes? Because I'm like, if the energy could go instead to creating new IPs that try different things, because as much as we're clowning on this for having similarities and influences, everything has influences. Just like the Lindsay Ellis tweet, everything has influences and it's okay to acknowledge them. And we're not saying they're exactly the same. You know what I mean? And it tries a ton of new vibes. So I do like it. I'd like to see more of this show and more shows trying new shit.
Okay. I mean, are there any parts of the show that you think like are a little weak that they could improve upon? Anything like that?
Yeah, the rules aren't super clear.
No, they aren't. The rules are not clear. And that is one thing that I've noticed in these very visually stunning fights. There is a fight in which it takes place between Sukuna and another character who you already know is on a completely different power scale. You know that Sukuna is going to whoop this guy. You know that this character does not stand a chance against Sukuna. And they go toe to toe and you think like, oh, this is going to be a slaughter. But instead, Sukuna like punches this, I say average, I just mean within this universe, this relatively average character through a building, punches him through a building, punches him up into the air, teleports behind him, punches him again. Like this dude's traveling like hundreds of feet in seconds, just flying through these brick buildings, and he gets up. And I'm just like, wait, you were scared of that curse just a second ago, and now you just got punched through like a fucking skyscraper, and you're just like, ow, that was it? Like, what are you really scared of? What scares you? What hurts you? I don't know. Usually in battle anime, there's a pretty clear indication of like, okay, yeah, this is gonna suck for the character. This is not gonna be fun. But in this one, there isn't.
And even if you already have, even if you've read like 100 chapters in and they explain it in the manga, it doesn't change the fact that like even if later they explain like, well, it's actually you harness your cursed energy to create a bubble around you. What, like Nen from Hunter x Hunter? No, this is
or like Ki from Dragon Ball Z. Like,
no, this is Jujutsu Kaisen. Haki from One Piece. No, it's Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
And again, you see, since all these shows do have these similarities, of course they draw from each other. They share the same tropes. That's what life's all about. You know what I mean?
I mean, and this show actually, and credit to Jujutsu Kaisen, we're clowning on it, yes, but it actually mentions all of these shows. Saying that like the characters, like their teacher's like, hey, Yuji, I'm going to teach you how to use your cursed energy. And he's like, oh, cool. Awesome. I can do it. And he's like, well, no, you actually probably won't be able to do any of the things that we can do. You'll have to do your own thing. And he's just like, oh, I thought you were going to teach me how to do the Rasengan. Oh, I thought you were going to teach me how to do the Dodon Ray. I wanted to fire off a Kamehameha. I wanted to summon a Bankai. Like he says all of these things in a row.
Yeah.
Afterwards, he's watching Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. And it's like all of this commentary that I think really adds to the humor of it. You're like, okay, you know,
Yeah.
you know what you're doing.
And he's like us. That's stuff I would want to do if I was a
I'd
teen
be like,
too.
if someone told me like,
yeah,
you have cursed energy and you can use it to create incredible like techniques, I'd be like, yes, the first thing I'm going to do is try to fire off a Kamehameha wave. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. for sure. And so it's kind of like loose rules are something where it's fine. And me criticizing it isn't saying like, I don't know if it would be better if it was different. It's just something that wasn't my favorite taste.
Sure.
And it kind of seems like every character has like also a secret awesome ability. You know how like the one point where there's like, it's Sukuna versus the edgy black haired guy. And like at the end there, he starts going like weather vane, blueberry, 27. He just like says some random words.
Yeah. And you're just like 64 tri-palm technique, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, he's like 78, 75, and like Sukuna immediately is like, oh shit, you're gonna do
like, what the fuck?
You're gonna do the thing, as in, and it seems like whatever it is, it's kind of like the classic suicide bomb technique, where it's just like sacrifice everything, no jutsu.
Yeah.
And he does that like I think like 2 other times throughout the show, where he just starts in like Mulberry Lane, 8087, Russell Crowe. He's like, and he like says whatever his like crow words are, and each time the enemy kind of like recognizes it and is like, oh no, he's doing the thing, which is great, but it's like I'm not sure that having a character who's like Itadori Yuji was just the strongest, hottest, funniest kid in the world until one day, he became the strongest jujutsu sorcerer, being taught by the strongest teacher and a classmate who has the strongest technique in the world that could defeat anything. It's like, it's a different vibe. Not everything needs to be super serious. And that said, this is just hype as hell. Just talking about it, I'm like, I want to watch anime now. I want to watch anime now. Like,
it really brings in the spirit of the genre, and it really brings in the art form. And so if I'm gonna say, would we recommend this? Absolutely. I would absolutely recommend Jujutsu Kaisen to someone who hasn't seen anime, or someone who wants to be introduced to it, someone who wants to watch something really cool, really funny, really
even
fun.
Though you think it's cookie cutter?
It is a little cookie cutter. It is. I stand by that. Send me hate mail. Burn down my house. Come after me. I dare you. I think it's cookie cutter. But would I recommend it? Absolutely. I think it's good.
As many of my favorite cookies are made from cookie cutters.
Yes.
Perhaps the Oreo thin mint version, the one that is the best Oreo, I'm sure that it comes from a cookie cutter. The Crunchy Chips Ahoy, I'm sure they have a cookie cutter or something like that.
True.
And so it doesn't mean it's bad just because it shares some of these things.
It's only cookie cutter because it works.
Absolutely. Was there anything else you wanted to mention about Jujutsu Kaisen?
No, I think
Gojo and Jogo.
Gojo, Jojo. I think that's
Mojo. There's Gojo, Jojo, Mojo, Jojo. There's Jojo.
Yes. I think that wraps it up. Do you want to bring us out?
Yeah, hell yeah. I am okay. I'm going to take this professionally from the top. Everybody, we have a gorgeous new YouTube channel. We also have an amazing new team getting involved in Brotakus. We will do some introductions later, but we have a new producer on board. We have a social media team. And so check our socials, Brotakus Podcast on everything, whatever you like using, find us there. And find us on YouTube. We're doing some great video content. If you want to see some images about like what we're talking about as we're talking about it for the news corner, stuff like that, I'll put a little razzle dazzle on it this week. And otherwise, thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, like, subscribe on YouTube, or review us on your favorite podcasting app. It really does make a difference, and every review counts. We gonna give you a shout out on the air to show our appreciation if you do it. And with that said, all right, I'm Pax.
And I'm Hal.
And we're the Brotakus, baby. See you next week, y'all.
See ya.